are you, mate?
We're doing good. We're actually very excited to talk to you.
Thank you.
Um, you know, um, well, would you have something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was your Passover?
Well, we didn't really get a chance to celebrate Passover or Easter this year.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
yeah, that's okay. We're not a particularly religious family,
Okay,
more geared towards spiritual practices, but it's all the same thing.
right.
We honor and respect all religions and all people. I was raised Catholic, and
Ready?
my partner was raised Jewish, and we made both of our children schizophrenic, so they're half.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Um, like I said, it is very exciting to talk with you. I've been a fan of The Thing for a very long time.
You saw it as a kid.
I mean, literally, I was 6 years old. It was at the drive-in theater in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Oh my God, Bucks County, that's where I grew up.
Right. Because actually I was born in Levittown as well.
Get out where?
I don't remember.
Bristol.
I don't remember exactly, but when you come off of Route 13,
Yeah,
um, onto what is that road there? I can't remember now.
Mill
I don't know. You
Creek,
only lived there for 8 years.
What's that?
Mill Creek,
Yes,
413.
exactly.
Yes.
Mill Creek.
Yeah. Off to the one side, there's a new housing development or apartment complex. I don't know if it was there when you lived there, but you go more towards the right and back from off of there. That's
Almost
kind of
near the
where
mall.
almost near the mall. But
That's
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Okay, I
and
was closer to the water, to the river.
okay. But yeah, I was born there. Then my parents moved us to New Jersey when I was very young.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm okay. Where Jersey's good.
Yeah.
But we live. We moved back. We actually moved back to Levittown uh when well, unfortunately, it was an unfortunate case, but we had to move, and we went from Jersey to Bucks County. So we back ended up back in Levittown. Now we're in
We're in the
Lebanon,
Lancaster area.
the Lancaster area in central Pennsylvania. We are very happy here. It's a good place.
Good.
But I want to talk to you more about the thing, but also more about your life and your career. We do have a few questions lined up, actually a bunch, but also we kind of like riff a little bit and say what how the conversation flows, but also we're both neurodivergent, so we have a tendency to go on tangents, and we have to try and course or correct ourselves back to the conversation at hand. So just bear with us when we kind of ramble on a bit, like I'm doing right now.
Okay,
Um,
I'm
This
with
is
you.
normal. Um,
um, like so, one of the first questions we have is we just established you were born in Levittown. You live in New York City now. What is your go-to place for pizza?
You know, that's a good question. That
Gotta go lay down.
I think there's I haven't had pizza in so long because,
Ah,
Really?
yeah, I am getting ready to do a one-man play called Lucky Man, A Warrior's Journey, which includes stories of the thing. And I'll be on stage, for 85, 90 minutes.
oh wow.
Yeah. And I need to get into condition for that. But just in general, I want to get my weight down to fighting
I
weight,
see.
150, 155. And so pizza hasn't been part of the diet. And my partner is exceedingly health conscious. So there are a lot of fruits and vegetables and things like that that I get to enjoy because she's a really great cook.
Oh, good.
So I haven't had to reach for pizza, but there was a guy that came to a signing on Sunday, and he came up to me and he said, "Look, you got to come to my place for pizza in Brooklyn." He told me the address, which of course I don't remember. He told me the name, which I don't remember. But the promoter said, Tom, it's right down the street from my house, Avenue J, whatever. Let me know when you want to go. It's the greatest pizza you'll ever taste. So my next adventure, whenever I get a moment, will be to take that trip
Ah, okay.
and have, allegedly, it's the greatest pizza in New York.
All
Ah, I
right.
see. Um, so getting into your career, and especially, when you were younger, when did you start wanting to become an actor? When did that really start to seize your life, where it was something you really wanted to pursue instead of something like, off the side or a flight of fancy, but like you really wanted to get into it?
Yeah. So it turned back the hands of time to 1969, that fateful year in our country's history, when Vietnam War was being protested, and
Mm.
I guess I was 14 or 15, and I got hit by a car, and
Oh,
my femur bone was broken in half. That's the strongest bone in your body.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm quite aware of that. Holy crap.
And I was put in traction, you know. I was in the hospital for 9 months, eh?
Oh.
Yeah. And the first week or so, um, they would inject me with a drug called Demerol to help me sleep,
Mm.
which is a liquid narcotic. And I have a very addictive personality. And back then they used to let you smoke in hospitals.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd get shot up and stare out the window, and man, I felt like William Burroughs, you know. So after about a week, I noticed they stopped giving it to me. So I pulled the emergency chain and started screaming my head
Mm.
off. Ah, my leg! Ah! So the nurse ran and got the Demerol and shot me up.
Mm.
After a few days of this, the orthopedic surgeon came in, who, by the way, was shell shocked from the Second World War. And imagine this guy operating on you and treating you, and he couldn't stop shaking.
Oh, jeez.
My
But
God.
he was the best orthopedic surgeon in Bucks County. And he was a great doctor. So anyway, he looks at the chart and he's like, "What's going on here? You shouldn't be giving him Demerol anymore." And the nurse was a neighbor of mine, Nurse Pat Richardson. And she looked at me and she went, and she realized that I'd been acting.
Mm.
And she went, "You ought to be an actor." And a light bulb went off over my head. And I realized that I couldn't do what I had been doing up till then, which was basically getting into a lot of trouble. And I started to read and I started to watch films and I started to fantasize. I live in a dream world, okay?
Mm.
The rest of y'all can have reality.
Yeah, it's not great.
And I just dream my life away. So I started dreaming about becoming an actor then. And then right after I got out of the hospital, I was in a body cast from my chest down.
Oh,
Oof.
wow.
Yeah. And now imagine I'm a kid and I haven't been outside in all these months, 9 months. And my oldest sister, Kathleen, who is my personal hero, she took me to the drive-in with her boyfriend to see Franco Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet. Uh, Great film. And she was in the front seat making out with her boyfriend whilst I was engrossed in the film. And I wept profusely and profoundly. Through the entire film, I wept for the romance. I wept
Mm.
for the tragedy. It's my favorite Shakespeare play. And I said, that's what I want to do with my life. And then I got out and I joined the drama club in high school. That was also where all the girls were.
Yeah.
That
What do
was
you mean?
motivation
Yeah.
enough right there.
Yeah.
And that's where I guess the seed was planted. And I went to Bucks County Community College for a year, because luckily they canceled the draft because I was number 8.
Oh,
Ah.
jeez.
And
And
I
even
don't,
with a broken femur, you still would have qualified?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a
Huh.
good question. I don't know if that would have got, but I was sure not interested in,
Oh
going to
yeah.
the bar. I have a hard time going to New Jersey, let alone going to Vietnam.
That ain't that bad.
Don't pick on Jersey.
And I went to Bucks County Community College and I was playing soccer one day, and one of the directors of the theater department said, "Hey, would you come and audition for a play that we're doing?" And I said, "Sure." And I got the lead in that. I got the lead in the next play and the play after that. And then he said to me, "You should audition for Juilliard." And I said, "Juilliard, isn't that a music school?" You know, because remember in Love Story, she went to Juilliard.
Mhm.
He said, "No, they've started a drama division under the auspices of John Houseman." And I took the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. But soft with light through yonder window breaks, is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. Her best delivery is but sick and green, and none but fools do wear it. It is my lady. Oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. Two of the fairest stars in all of heaven having some business to entreat her eyes to twinkle in their spheres till they return. What if her eyes were there, they in her head? The brightness of her cheek would shame those stars as daylight doth a lamp, and her eyes in heaven would through the airy regions stream so bright that birds would sing and think it were not night. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand? Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. So I did that.
Wow,
And,
impressive.
and I got a scholarship, and I moved to New York City, and I studied. I was a terrible student. They kicked me out of there after 3 years, but I knew I was good enough to work, and I got my equity card doing When You Coming Back, Red Rider at Center Stage in Baltimore. And then I returned to the city and I got Mandy Patinkin, the famous actor, uh, made a call for me and I got my first agent and I booked 2 movies the same day. And that was the beginning of my career.
Wow.
Wow, very nice.
I have an aside
Uh-huh.
because I never liked Shakespeare. I never got Shakespeare, none of it.
In high school, yeah.
Yeah, especially from high school. When I saw a few years ago, you were explaining, I believe it was a scene from Macbeth to
Okay.
your students, and you'd posted it on Instagram. It was like I finally got it. Like you
Oh,
helped Shakespeare make sense. It's like, oh, because
isn't
like
that
in
love?
school they just kind of stand there, with
Yeah.
like their one hand up and they just say it.
Yeah.
Oh.
When you actually showed the emotion and what actually goes into it, it was like, oh, I get it now.
Well, interestingly enough, it has much less to do with emotion and more to do with the language. If
Mm,
you know what words to stress and how
right.
to derive the meaning, it does the acting for you.
Right.
I believe the speech you're talking about is this a dagger which I see but
Exactly. Exactly.
the handle toward my hand come, let me clutch thee, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know what words to stress, the meaning of itself,
Pardon
you just have to say the words right and
Mm-hmm.
actor proof. But I'm glad you saw that, and I'm glad I helped you to understand Shakespeare. Shakespeare's not meant really to be read. He's meant to be seen and
Yeah.
heard,
Mm.
felt.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Because when in high school, I was not a good student.
No.
And when you go to English class, they say, well, this is the play, and we did Hamlet. And
We
it's
did
it's
Romeo and
just
Juliet.
very dry, and you're just like, it's just getting through. But then years later, when you understand more about, especially when you learn more about what's going on at the time it was written, instead of trying to apply it to more modern things, when it there's a show called Upstart Crow from made in the UK, and it's a comedy, but it's about Shakespeare. And it actually helps you actually get a new understanding and perspective, because they say, yeah, if you have to have joyless, in their terms, schoolmasters simply just regurgitating the same thing over to you again, you're not going to enjoy it. But if you have someone like what we see with you, where you have the passion and you really get what's going on, then it translates to us, and we understand more about what's going on. And like you
Mm.
said, the way the stress, the words develops the emotion and the acting.
Mm.
It makes it a much more enjoyable, instead of just sitting there listening to the teacher drone on about it.
Yeah, because we around the same time you were doing that, I saw Andrew Scott's piece doing "To Be or Not to Be." I never knew that was about suicide.
Yeah.
In school they don't explain it.
No,
They
it's
just
just
say, you get the gist, like, oh, I always thought it was, like, should he be himself or should he play this part that his mother wanted? Like, I had no
No, no,
idea.
no, because he
Yeah,
goes on to say, but that the dread of something after death, the
yeah,
undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear
mm,
those we have than fly to others that we know not.
mm.
Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all.
And the way he did it, it was like you can feel the despair.
Mm.
Like I said, he's literally contemplating taking his own life, and the way he does it, like I said, it's I get it now. It's like,
yeah.
holy crap, it's a much deeper thing than what you're taught in school, because like I said, it's just they're
Well,
just
they
going through
don't
the motion.
know. They don't know what to.
No.
They
No,
just,
they're
told here you're supposed to teach Hamlet, and they read it, and they
yeah,
have no clue.
their
And
English teacher's
in
not drawing
point
the
of fact,
pictures.
his son Hamnet died from the plague,
Yeah.
and that sent him into a great depression, and he returned home, and he didn't write for years. And when he did write, he finally wrote Hamlet
Mm.
as an expression of his grief, even though it has nothing to do about a guy losing his son.
Mm.
Um, because he was so brilliant, he never even put himself. There's no character named Bill that's a writer
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
in Shakespeare play. But so yeah, I fell in love with Shakespeare, and it got me out of the ghetto.
Yeah.
Well, when
Um,
we left Levittown, it
now,
wasn't half bad.
yeah, I mean, wasn't great either, but besides attending Juilliard, you also attended the Actors Studio.
I'm a member of the Actors Studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What?
what
Go
that?
explain. Yeah.
Like I
Okay,
said, what is the difference?
it's an enormous difference. Juilliard is a place where they train actors. The Actors Studio is a group of professional actors that congregate 2 or 3 times a week and present work that is then discussed in relationship to what's called the method, as taught by Lee Strasberg, stolen from Stanislavski, by the way. And it's a professional organization and a great place, and it's been very good to me.
Okay.
They've produced a couple of plays, and
Pardon me.
they it's a great place. I'm going there Thursday night to rehearse my new play, Lucky Man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a very prestigious organization, and I got in on my first audition. Pacino auditioned 6 times.
Oh,
Harvey Keitel auditioned 9 times.
wow.
A lot of famous actors, Vincent D'Onofrio auditioned 7 or 8 times and never got in, and he's
Oh,
very,
wow.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, they're very elitist.
Because I'm glad you clarified that, because I did have a bit of a misunderstanding. I thought it was another, excuse me, another school where they taught acting, but now you clarified it and I understand it better.
Mhm.
um, so when you auditioned for Juilliard, what was the process like? Did you have to go somewhere? You were already in New York. Was there a
No,
location?
no, you had to take a train from Levittown, from Trenton, to
Yeah.
New York, and
That's where I grew up.
find your way to 66th Street, and find your way to the drama division and the theater, and you waited, and they gave you a number, and they called your name, and you went in with your heart pounding, and you did your work, and then they sent you a letter and let you know if you got accepted or not. I think it's what's the term? And 90%. 90% of the people that apply don't get in.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Something like that.
hmm.
I'm very fortunate. That's why my play is called Lucky Man. You must come see it.
Well, we're gonna definitely try.
It opens June 5th. It plays through June 22nd. Go to Eventbrite Tickets, eventbritetickets.com. Put
Okay.
in Lucky Man, A Warrior's Journey, pick a night, and do not miss this. It's a rock monologue. So it starts with me getting fired from the Warriors, and then it goes through my battles with addiction and
Hmm.
losing everything that's I ever cherished and my redemption.
It's so special.
Now, as far as Juilliard goes, what do they actually teach you, and do you believe that really is um, a way of becoming a better actor for, is it just for stage or is it for movies and TV as well?
Well, see, people have this great misunderstanding that acting is different on stage than it is for film. It's no different. You
Okay.
still have to be truthful. You still have to be connected. You still have to have a life, an inner life. It's just that the size of your audience in the theater could be 2,500 people, and the size of your audience on film is little
Hmm.
lens. Juilliard is a place where they train you. 9 o'clock in the morning, dance class, 10 o'clock, speech class, 11 o'clock, voice class, 12 o'clock, lunch, two
Wow.
o'clock, acting class, which goes to 5, dinner from 5 to 7, then rehearsal from 7 to midnight, 5 days a week. And during my time there, you had to take academic courses as well.
Hmm. Wow, that's pretty heavy class load.
Rigorous training. So it prepares you as best it can, although nothing can really prepare you for the real
Hmm.
deal until you get on a movie set, until you get in a professional play. But it does give you the tools to train your instrument to be prepared. And I was very grateful that I had that. And I had the best teachers in the world, and it stuck with me ever since. I mean, I use it to this day.
Well, I could even see it when you just right off the hip, you're just throwing Shakespeare out there, and it's like bang. It's just like wow.
How many 70-year-old men can do that? Make you believe you're 17.
How many men can most people can't
Right.
remember word for word.
Yeah. I
Right?
mean, that was impressive. I have another question. Do you watch your own movies like a lot, or do you like?
Never.
No.
I
Okay.
can't bear it. I mean, I went to the screening of Injustice for All with Al Pacino, a film that I did when I was young.
Mhm.
And I actually started weeping at my own work, what the character was going through, because it was so touching and terribly moving. And that was interesting. But after that, I can't bear to watch myself. Watching yourself age in public is a very
Mm.
difficult prospect. But no, I mean, I do the work as best I can. Sometimes they'll let me watch the scene that I just did to make sure that it's working. And if I do a film and they ask me to go to the premiere, I will go and I'll be forced to watch my work.
Mm.
But it's very difficult for me. It's
I
very,
see.
I think it's vanity, honestly.
Mm.
It's got to be surreal too.
It
To
does have to be kind of strange to see yourself in a performance, while you're watching yourself. I mean, I've never. I mean, we watch our own YouTube videos, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's
we're
not a.
not on there.
Yeah. Most of the time, we're not actually in the frame. We're just talk about whatever the video happens to be about.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned about your play, and he says it's it has a rock element to it. And so we want to ask this: we understand, we read in an article that you're not a formally trained musician. You taught yourself.
Yeah. I am a three chords and the truth kind of guy.
That is
Yeah.
rock.
Well, I had to play, because I was in a play that required me to play the guitar and sing. and I couldn't play the guitar or sing. And the director said, well, you have to learn it.
Hmm.
And I did. And then I fell in love with songwriting and became a proficient rhythm guitar player. And I can lead a band. And yeah, it's really like my favorite thing in the world to do.
Oh, cool.
And I did teach myself. Yeah. Well, actually, I learned from playing with musicians that are better than me, that have the patience to teach me.
um, over the years, do you feel like having that addition of the musical talent, do you feel it enhances your acting, or is it something that it's like,
Totally,
okay.
totally. Every great actor is a musician, I think. I think that the musicality and language and the mellifluousness of one's
Mm,
voice, I think you have to really know how to listen to be a musician. That's a key component. If you're not listening, you're not able to play. And yes, it's informed and enhanced my talent. And I've been lucky enough to be around musical people that have, I seem to always fall in love with women that have great musical ears.
mm.
So they go, you're making a mistake there. No, that doesn't sound right. You're making the chord change too soon. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
that's great.
So has music helped you in your life? Because you did mention that you've had some issues with addiction. Did music help you? Because I know it helps me when I'm depressed.
Yes.
To listen to, I've got my go-to songs that, all right, snap out of it and use this song.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm currently exceedingly livid with this administration's policies, especially toward black and brown skinned people, but everything from the tariffs to bailing out of NATO, an agreement that we've had since the Second World War, bailing. I mean, that's like me saying, okay, Peter, listen, I'll be there at 10 o'clock for you and I'll show, or now I'll be there at 4 o'clock for you and show
Mm.
up. And then all of a sudden I go, you know what? Fuck off.
Yeah.
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 It's
So my songs have taken a political bent of late.
Hmm.
I
Gotcha.
only have a few more minutes left, so let's get through the rest of your
Okay.
questions.
Oh, okay. I do. Okay.
And just give me one quick second, okay? I'll be right
Okay.
back. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So we'll go into the meat and potatoes about John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
How did you get hired? I had heard somewhere that Carpenter and Russell had saw you in a play and they practically hired you on the spot as a result of that.
They didn't hire me on the spot. They saw me in American Buffalo with Al Pacino,
Okay.
which is a three-character play. It was me, Al, and a great actor named Clifton James. And they called my agent and requested me to come in and audition. And I auditioned, and they liked me, and they hired me. And I'd been doing American Buffalo for about a year, so it's very tough to do a play 8 shows a week for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a formidable challenge. So I was so grateful for the job, and I loved John. I loved working with him. I loved Kurt, the whole cast, the great guys, and I miss them. It was one of the highlights of my life, honestly.
We wanted to get your take. We've heard a number of stories about the bus ride from hell.
I had to push a bus.
Yeah, you have to come see the play to get the dope one.
Okay.
So it is a true story.
It's a true story, and I tell copious detail.
One of the other things is like how you came up with the name Windows for your character.
That's also in the play.
What I wanted to know is we had heard that, yeah, you got the glasses and you said, well, can I change my name to Windows? And a lot of people seem surprised that Carpenter was okay with that. How much input did you have in addition to that? How much input did you have into how your character went about? Is like his mannerisms, speech?
Well, don't misinterpret that. John is a very strong director.
Hmm.
Right.
And when I asked him, he thought about it, and he saw the green glasses that I was wearing to rehearsal. And John's a very intuitive director, and he sensed that it would make the characters stand out a bit. Because I think they renamed him to John Simmons, which is about as boring a name as you can get.
Yeah.
And John, like all great directors, knows how to listen to their actors. He listens to his actors, and that's what makes us a lot better than we would normally be. So I'm really grateful for that because it's a great name.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's, I mean, I've always kind of felt myself attached to Windows because, like you said, it is just an unusual name. I thought it, when I was a kid, I thought it was his genuine surname. Then you find out later on it was a nickname because of the shades. So it just makes it all the more better.
Like, John made Kurt wear that hat. So obviously he was okay
Kurt did
with
not want
sunglasses.
that ad.
How rare is that you get an opportunity to put input into your own character?
It depends, on the director. I just did a horror film called The Block, with Chris Noth and Jack Fallaheel, and an Australian actress named Safira Morgan, and it's a really good movie, and it was a beautiful experience because the director would like listen to me, he'd let me try it, and then he'd say, "Okay, we have that. Now, would you try it this way?" And it's just so fun collaborating like that with directors. So it makes it so that you feel like you're actually creating something. But a lot of times, especially with TV, it's like hit your mark, say your line, get the fuck out of here because we're behind schedule.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, TV is very fast.
I see. Because I remember in one of the opening shots of the rec room, you see your character in the background with the guitar. Was that something you brought with you, or
Yeah.
was that okay? Cool.
Very cool.
Because I thought it's like he plays guitar, so he had to have brought that with him.
And by the way, it's a very difficult riff, which I don't even know if I can still play it. Huh?
Did the sound cut out?
Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like the sound of the guitar is coming through. Unfortunately.
That's too bad. It's an old Mississippi John Hurt riff.
Okay.
Very difficult to finger pick and play.
Oh, geez.
But anyway,
missing it.
I guess you can't hear it unless you actually,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's not coming through at all, unfortunately.
Oh.
That's strange.
Okay. Go ahead. Your next question, please.
All right.
No, was it Norbert Weiser that played one of the Norwegians? He sent a lot of behind the scenes pics of you guys just playing. Was it a lot of fun?
Oh,
I mean, it looks like you guys genuinely just were able to have a good time.
we had a great, because of John. Yeah, John creates an atmosphere where he simultaneously makes you work hard and want to gain his approval, and at the same time have the time of your life.
That's good.
That's cool. For Joel Polis and Keith David, this was both their very first movie. You had obviously had experience making film and before. So did you offer advice? Did they seek you out for advice in any way when it comes to this?
No, Keith and I had gone to Juilliard together, and we were mates.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we used to hang out in the stairwell and smoke pot together. And
So it was like Childs and Palmer.
and he showed up on the first day and was like, I looked at him and I go, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And he's like, "What are you doing here?" But he obviously
that's hilarious.
be a very successful. He's a very talented actor. Has had a very successful career, and as well he should. He's a very gifted man. But they didn't come to me for any advice. Joel was a Yale trained actor. He had done tons of research on. He took biology classes. I mean, this guy was
Wow.
Great actor. He does a wonderful understated performance. And Keith was great too, you know. They didn't need any help from me, no.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
When it comes to the movie when it was released, everybody says how harsh the critics were and the audiences really didn't go see it. How did you take it? Did it like was it just a job or was it something where it's like, you know, you felt bad and you were hurt by the harshness of the treatment it got from the critics?
I felt bad for John because I knew he lost a lot of work as a result of that film.
Mm.
And I felt bad for him. And yeah, I wished that the audiences had received it better, and it sort of broke my heart, to tell you the truth. I thought it was
Mm.
going to be a big blockbuster hit, which, as it turned out, it is. I've made
Yeah.
money from that movie in residuals than anything I've ever done.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Congrats.
Well, that's the thing is the other thing is about the cult status that it has received over the years. Um, and I says like that's why I'm doing this video project because it's like it is and it's more than I want to say it's cult, but more than that. But I don't know how else to say it because it's not necessarily mainstream like Star Wars, where if you say one quote from the Star Wars movie, everybody knows what you're talking about. But here it's like just under the surface, where it's like there's this huge following, but it's not overt, so to speak. And it's like everybody loves it, everybody's talking about it, but only the people when
Well,
you.
he taps into our paranoia.
Mm.
Yeah.
Are you really Peter Abbott?
Yeah.
Am I really Tom Waits?
I sure hope so.
Never know. Well, you know, people can change
Mm.
and they can be influenced by other people. And I think he was AIDS had just, you know, made its vicious entrance into the world scene and was killing people by the millions. And I think he had his finger on the pulse of the future. You know,
Yes.
that's
Excuse me.
blood test. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Because
I've
then
got 5 more minutes.
I
Okay.
think because yeah, I agree. Like he was the future because someone told him and Stuart Cohen talked to Pete about it, where it's like you're 25 years ahead of your time with this film, and so it did catch up. I mean, we were watching reaction videos where people just they're instantly falling in love with it today. I mean, it's and you're in two cult hits, which is I think very rare and a blessing.
Lucky,
I mean,
lucky man.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I mean, it's so rare to something become a cult hit in that. So yeah, I mean it's amazing and I think you deserve it. And
Thank you.
a lot of these reactions agree with me. A lot of Rob Bottin stuff is scary, but it's Windows cutting his thumb. That is the most cringe. It is. It's Windows just taking that cut.
Yeah.
Oh no, I
No,
can't.
she's like things injuries involving fingers and toes. She's out, and you just right at the tip is like.
And I just want to let you know, there's so many people like your character is one that makes everybody freak out the most.
As a nurse, what makes me cringe the most is you after you cut Knowles's thumb, you said you just wipe it on your jeans, no sterilization whatsoever. It's like, all right, let's just go to it. But I have one last question,
Yep.
and then I'll let you wrap up with anything you would like to say. In
Okay.
addition, as far as Bottin's effects, you know, when you were making the movie itself, how did you feel about it? I mean, it's impressive on screen, but what was it like seeing it in person?
So, you know, that's production. I'm talent.
Mm.
Production and talent support one another, but we don't really interact
Mm.
frequently unless we have to. You know, the cameraman doesn't tell you how to act
Right.
any more than you tell him where you want the lens to be or what you want the lighting to be. The special effects are done mostly by himself, and then we react to them. A lot of times we were reacting to nothing at all and just
Hmm.
they put something there. So it was a
Wow.
separate deal. But Rob himself was a lovely guy. And you know, I really thought what he did was just astonishing. The talent to make that stuff happen, it was way ahead of its time. And he's a gifted artist, and I think John was very smart to hire him. He's only 26, the same age I was when I did it.
Hmm.
But John has a perspicacity for talent. uncanny vision for what will work ultimately. And he's a master director, not just a horror director. Everything he directs. You ever see Starman?
Yeah,
Great,
I love
Yes.
that movie.
Kidnapping.
nothing horror about it. It's a love story.
No.
Big Trouble in Little China is one of my other favorites. That's John.
Yeah, it's not it's a non-horror John Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
And he's a really fine human with character. And I say that from experience.
Right.
Okay, last question, then I got to run.
Okay.
I don't know, is there any, if anybody,
So
how do people follow him?
So if people are not following you on in social media, how can they follow you now?
Okay, the first place I would love for them all to go is to follow my band, Heartbreak Waits, Waits. Heartbreak Waits. It's one word. You see a picture of me. I sort of look like Johnny Cash in it. Please follow me on Heartbreak Waits. We're going to be releasing an album, CD and digital and vinyl in about a month's time
Oh,
to
nice.
commence with the opening of Lucky Man. And it's great music, all original. I wrote it. A lot of 60s type harmonies in it. And it's really good stuff. So please follow me, Heartbreak Waits on Instagram. I'm
Okay.
also Thomas Waits on Facebook, and then TGW Acting Studio on Facebook. So there's 3 ways for people to follow me. I'm easily accessible in that regard. And I really want to pitch a film that I wrote and directed called Target, which is a playful sex comedy. Make sure the kids are in bed before you turn it on.
Okay.
It's available on Amazon Prime. I wrote it, directed it, raised the money, and I'm desperate to make the money back. So please buy it for $10.
Okay.
All right.
And my band and my music and my play, and I love life, and I'm so grateful to be alive. And thank you so much for interviewing me.
Well, thank you
for
very
all
much for your
help.
time. We appreciate it. You have a good day, and thank you again.
Thank you and good luck with Lucky Man.
Okay, and keep in touch. Come.